I'm here with number 52, the Hall of Famer, Robert Dr. Doom Brazile. Robert, welcome in, and tell me, why are you here right now?
We're here for the Lone Star in the Texas Bowl. We're here to raise money, to visit a high school. You know, I'm always trying to do something to help somebody else. These guys has been working, and I've been working with them for years to better the community, the Delpelchin home, and all the other things that's going around in this. You know, I like showing up with us the good people, and all the good people I know are from Texas.
Well, you know, I mean, prior to this, I went back because I know you just recently got into the Hall of Fame. It seemed like a long haul, and you know, the last one of that decade of that 1970 class, you were the last one of that group to go into the Hall of Fame. It took you a while, but you know, and I went back and looked at your acceptance speech. Number one, how did it feel to have your dad to present you? What was that like to have him?
You know, when you say that, you know, I get emotional because of all the things that I've been through, all the things that this world has been through, and my parents are both living. And the one ultimate thing I wanted to do was to show my dad and to answer the question, because he always asked me, are you a Hall of Fame material? You know, he works there at the Senior Bowl, on the Senior Bowl committee, and for him to witness, everybody thought, and I had great other choices. I wanted Baum to do it, I wanted my college coach to do it, but you know what, really, the man that did it was my dad. And to have that feeling, don't make me go to crying, because you know, that's a good feeling, man, when you can make your parents happy. And for both of them to witness me going to the Hall of Fame, it was more than a blessing. It was more than a blessing. It was the ultimate wish for me.
You know, a lot of folks, and I know part of your acceptance speech, you rattled up, you came off a lot of names, you know, particularly that came from historically black universities. You know, I saw Jackie Slater, and like I said, I went back but the thing about it, two of y'all came out of the same school, first round draft pick.
Out of the same room, guy.
Oh, y'all were you and Walter were roommates together. Sweetness was.
You know, we were guys that was on a mission. You know, I look at the SEC, I look at the Big 12, I look at everything. During my era, the time that I was at Jackson State, and in the SWAC, I think that we could have competed with all these great teams that is in the Hall of Fame now. I mean, Walter don't know what he did for that conference. Walter was just like Dion today. Mm-hmm. Walter brought the scouts to Jackson State.
Right.
When them Jackson State, the scouts got that, they said, well, who's that number 80? Who's that number 35? Who's that number 49? Who's that Vernon Perry? Who's that Leon Gray? Who's that Jackie Slater? We were all there waiting to be exploded. When they got there, they found that. And, you know, I just can't say enough good about Walter for what he did for me.
The fact that, and I remember when you got to Houston, you were rookie of the year. But one thing that always stood out in my mind, and you would run sprints with the defensive backs. You wouldn't like I know for a fact, you wouldn't run with the linebackers. And the thing about it, you would be leading the defensive backs when y'all running sprints.
No, it was only that. I wanted to run with Kenny Burroughs, which is a sprinter, Billy White Shoes Johnson, the running backs, and all the defensive backs. I wanted to get them in shape, man. This is my biggest total. I found out in Jackson that the more you work, the better the games are, the better easy it is to play a game. And I tried to carry that same mentality when I came into the pros. A lot of people thought I was overdoing. They called me cocky, called me just so selfish. Robert, I just didn't want to never say die. You know, I look at people and the things that I always tell kids, you're as good as you want to be. It's the harder you work, the better it pays off. You know, when I got to, Baum was the type of guy that say, guys, we got 25 plays on defense and 35 on offense. That ain't gonna take us but 45 minutes. I wasn't used to that. I'm used to 4-quarter football.
Right.
So I had to prepare myself for 4 quarters. And that's what I was trying to do when I was running the splits with those guys.
You called off on, and I don't know, part of your speech. You called off several guys, and it really touched me how you made your own jersey, and what Lanier was one, and then you had Dick
Dick
Buckers,
Buckers, yeah,
yeah, Buckers, and the camera sort of went to Buckers, and Buckers sort of sit back and went like, really, had that
But,
look on his face, man.
Being from Mobile,
Yeah,
you saw whatever game that was televised.
right.
You know they were going to put Jim Brown and the Chicago Bears on. That's all I saw. That's all I wanted to be. These guys was destroyers on defense. I always wanted to play D. My mama and I come up from a Christian home. It's more blessed to give than it's to receive. And I ain't want to receive none of them licks. I want to be giving them out.
You mentioned that you had lost your passion, but then, and again, another part of that, but the Hall sort of, with everybody sort of working on you, got that passion back. How bad was that when that feeling that when you lost that love, that pit in your stomach that you didn't have anymore for the game?
It's out there now because I kept that after I retired. I had played 10 Ironman seasons in Houston. I'd never missed a game, never missed a start. And when you get a chance to play in the Hall of Fame game in camp, which we were to play that year against the New York Giants, my boy, the guy that wanted to be like me was across the field. Lawrence Taylor. Me and him talking all week saying, hey man, this is our time to show. We want to make the Hall of Fame. This is the inner talk we was talking. I was on the downstroke on my career. He was on the upstroke in his career. When I got that knock on the door from that coach to tell me that I was not going to start, I don't want to cry right now, but that's how I can tell you how I felt.
Right.
Like, what in the world have I done to this league, or what have I done to this organization that you're not going to let me start? Because this is where I want to go. My career ends in Canton, not at this hotel. So it really tore me up. And for the years, I didn't watch no football. I tell a bunch of young guys now that during that era from '84 and up into the '90s, I did not watch no NFL football. That's how bad I feel about it, because I thought I'd been mistreated. Then when the Houston Oilers leave Houston,
yeah,
that's another stab in the heart.
Right.
But I can always say this, and I'm gonna tell you, 2 weekends ago, we went to Nashville. Amy Adams Crust and the Titans welcomed the Houston Oilers back and gave us a home. Man, let me tell you, that's a great feeling. To have a place to call home. I'm in the Ring of Honor in Nashville. In Nashville, along with Baum, Earl, Kenny Houston, Mac Munchak, Warren Moon, all us in the Ring of Honor. That means so much. She don't know how good she made me feel.
Tell me about that night, and I knew about it because I was watching on TV. Y'all just lost from the Steelers, and y'all came back, and the bus rolled in, came down that rampway and brought y'all into the infield of the Astrodome. And I remember seeing you because you had the cowboy hat on and everything.
My son him on.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, I just wanted to know what it would have been like if we had won. That's what I was thinking. I take a burden a whole lot of it on myself because, that bad call came at a time where we still had quarters and a time to win that.
You talking about the Renfro no catch.
The Renfro no call, no catch, because we didn't get it. But I'm trying to tell myself and my teammates, we still can beat Pittsburgh, y'all. Forget about that call. We still got football to play, and we didn't. So when I walked in that stand and I saw all those people, I'm saying, what it would have been like if we would have won. There wouldn't have been no parking spaces. So that's what I was thinking about.
Now that you've had time to sit back and digest it, and now every time it's Hall of Famer Robert Dr. Doom Brazile. How does that now, when you hear it's the preference is always Hall of Famer. How does that make you feel now, and when everybody see you?
Numbers to me always meant something, and I never knew all the things that came with being a Hall of Famer. But one of the most precious things I got is a new number. I'm Hall of Famer 312. There will never be another 312.
Right.
It will always be Robert Brazile, Hall of Famer, 312, and the validation of all your hard work that you put in, the love, the blood, the hard work, the tears, the soreness, everything come to a whole. But I still say today, the most precious thing is today, Robert Brazile Sr., which is my dad, thinks he's the Hall of Famer. I'm just the one that did all the work.
Robert, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you for sitting down, taking a few moments and sitting down and talking with us. And congratulations again, Hall of Famer number 312.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Hey, man, I appreciate